Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta
Jaya
Vrinda.
Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Shri Jagannath Mishra Sachi Mata ki jai. Shri Jagannath Mishra Festival ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Gana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Dear devotees, welcome to today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. We will continue with our Chaitanya Charitamrita now. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, Chapter 4, Sri Madhavendra Puri's devotional service. So, we were reading that Madhavendra Puri, after Madhavendra Puri silently left the temple. Why did he leave the temple? Because he got this desire to taste the sweet rice, Amrita Keli, Gopinather Kheer, which is famous all over the world. He wanted to get a if he was wondering, the desire just came in his mind that if somebody gave him without his asking a little bit of that kheer, by tasting it, he would make the same kheer for Gopal in Braja. But because when this thought occurred, the offering was still on the altar, he was feeling very ashamed. How I could think of tasting something which Krishna is himself enjoying. So he felt ashamed. So when the arati started, he just bowed down in front of the deities and silently walked out without saying anything to anyone. He just left the temple and went to the village marketplace, which was vacant at that time, sat down doing kirtan. Meanwhile, here the pujari, after completing the arti, this was night arti, so the sweet rice was offered, and then the night arti, there are 12 pots of this kheer. After the night arti, he just moved everything away, cleaned the place, put the deities to rest, locked the temple, and went to his room, and then he took rest himself. Then, in the night, in his dream, Gopinath appeared to him and said, uh, Get up, get up. Oh, Pujari, get up. I have saved one pot of kheer for Puri Gosai. Who's that? Madhavendra Puri. It is hidden behind the curtain, the cloth curtain. You didn't see it because of my tricks, right? Because of my Maya, you could not see it. Please go and collect that pot and deliver it to Madhav Indrapuri immediately. Shigra means as soon as possible, quickly, very quickly. Take that. And so now this priest woke up from sleep, and he thought about the dream, and he thought, what should I do? He thought it wise to first take bath before entering into the deity room. So he went, he took bath, then he opened the lock, opened the door of the altar, went inside, moved the curtain, and yes, he actually found the sweet rice, just as Madhavendra had said. I'm sorry, as Gopinath had said. So he took that pot, and he cleaned up the place under the pot, because it's prasadam, right? When something is offered to the Lord, when the Lord enjoys it, it becomes prasadam. And you clean up that place so that the next bhoga can be offered to the Lord, right? Prasad and bhoga shouldn't be mixed. So he cleaned the place, took the pot, and he went. Where did he go? Looking for Madhavendra Puri. So let's see what happened after that. Of course, when he saw the pot, he must be amazed, ecstatic that the Lord has, uh, saved. He has stolen. He put aside a pot for Madhavendra Puri, the deity. So let me just see what's 131, just so that we are not missing anything. According to the deity's directions, the priest found the pot of sweet rice behind the cloth curtain. He removed the pot and mopped up the place where it had been kept. He then went out the temple. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about how he felt by seeing the sweet rice. 132. द्वार दिया ग्रामे गेला सेई खीर लोया हाटे हाटे भूले माधवा पुरी के चाहिया. Now, the Lord told him that Madhavendra Puri is now sitting in the marketplace, vacant marketplace. Deliver it to him as quickly as possible. So he's going to the marketplace, but there's not only one marketplace, there are several marketplaces in Remuna. So Dware Diya, so he closed the door again, because it is still in the night. This is not in the morning, not Mangalarti time. It's in the middle of the night. So he had just opened. Now he once again closed the altar, and then he went into town, taking that pot of kheer in his hand. And in each and every village, he went to each and every village, and it's in the middle of the night, calling out for Madhavendra Puri. Hate hate bule Madhava Puri ke chahiya. Right? He was calling out, Madhavendra Puri, Madhavendra Puri, like that, to see if he's in this market or he's in another market. द्वारे दिया ग्रामे गेला sei खीर loya hate hate bule. Right? He's walking. Hate means walking. Okay, market. Hate hate bule. Bule means walks. Hate hate bule Madhava Puri ke chahiya. Right? He's calling. Right? Looking for Madhavendra Puri, he went to each and every market. Okay. Closing the door of the temple, he went to the village with the pot of sweet rice. He called out in every stall in search of Madhavendra Puri. Khira loho ei jar naam Madhava Puri. Toma lagi Gopinatha khira koila churi. So he didn't see Madhavendra Puri, but he's calling out, Madhavendra Puri, Madhavendra Puri, come and get this kheer. Whose ever name is or Madhavendra Puri, whose ever name is Madhav Puri, please come and take this kheer. For your sake, Gopinath has stolen this pot. Like this, he's calling out in every market. Madhavendra Puri, Madhavendra Puri, whoever name is Madhavendra Puri, please come, please come. Take this pot of kheer. Gopinath has stolen this for your sake. Come, come and get it. Like that, he's calling out in each and every market. Kheera loho ei, jara naam Madhava Puri, toma lagi, Gopinatha, kheera koila churi. Sweet rice, the priest called, will he whose of sweet rice for you. Purport. The difference between the absolute truth and relative truth is explained here. Difference between absolute truth and relative truth is explained here. Lord Gopinath has openly declared herein that he is a thief. Isn't it? Gopinath actually told the priest, I put this pot aside, right? I took it away. Of course, it is not, everything is his. So what is there in, to steal? It's all his anyway. But still, he put one aside, right? For his devotee. Such a sweet reciprocation, isn't it? He's putting one aside for his dear devotee. He put one pot, like hid it behind the cloth for someone who is very dear to him. So, Lord Gopinath has openly declared herein that he is a thief. He had stolen the pot of sweet rice, and this was not kept a secret. So generally, when you steal, what do? Do you tell everyone that I stole? No, right? If you steal, then you just don't want anyone to know, because then when they find out that you stole it, then you become, uh, you'll be ridiculed and you will be looked down that you are a thief, like that. So you don't want to tell everyone that you have stolen. Gopinath stole it, but he didn't hide it. He told his pujari, and now the whole world is going to know about it. So he stole it, but he didn't hide it. He had stolen the pot of sweet rice, and this was not kept a secret. Why? Because his act of stealing is a source of great transcendental bliss. Yes. That is why Krishna's activities are transcendental, whereas our activities are mundane, right? Whether Krishna steals or he dances with so-called others' wives, right, which are all considered abominable in this world. But when he runs away from the battlefield, right, all these things are considered abominable. But Krishna does it, and it gives great pleasure to his devotees, seeing Krishna's activities like this. So he doesn't hide it. He had stolen the pot of sweet rice, and this was not kept a secret, because his act of stealing is a source of great transcendental bliss. In the material world, theft is criminal. In the material world, theft is criminal. Yeah, Priyanka Mataji is saying that kheer was offered to him, so it is his anyway. Why is it said that he stole it? Yeah, it was offered to him, and he ate it. Now it became prasad. Prasad is for all the devotees, and he kept one pot of prasad, so he stole one pot of prasad. What do you say? Of course, he can finish it all. That's another thing. But not only that, like we see even in the case of Raghunandan Thakur. Raghunandan Thakur is Mukunda's son. Uh, so he went and prayed, Krishna, eat, eat, and he ate up everything. He didn't leave any prasad for anyone. He just ate everything. But there it is not said that Krishna stole, right? When it was offered to him, everything was eaten, and it was visible to the pujari and to the whole world that he ate everything. So that was fine. Here he hid it from the pujari. That's the thing. He actually played a trick, right? So The pujari is thinking there were 12 pots. He thought he collected all 12 and he went. He didn't. I mean, you know, uh, generally, when you have a fixed number of bhoga every day that you're offering, you have a plan of how you're going to distribute the prasadam, right? Out of 12 clay pots, you distribute it to so many devotees, whatever. Especially the pujari would have an idea. But nothing came to his mind. One pot is missing, or nothing came to his mind. Why? How he didn't realize? The Lord himself said, because of my tricks, you didn't realize that. I hid one and you didn't even realize that one is missing there. So he really did a trick here. Like he was really, you know, uh, like a thief. He hid one pot of prasad behind. He ate his, and then prasad, out of the prasad, he put one aside. So this is the Lord's sweet pastime, and that's why he's called. And then, today is famous.
Yes, Mataji, I got it. Thank you very much. You explained it so nicely.
Kirachor. So, like that. Okay. He had stolen the pot of sweet rice, and this was not kept a secret because his act of stealing is a source of great transcendental bliss. It was not kept a secret. Why? Because none of his activities are, you know, condemned. No, his absolute truth, right? So none of his activities are actually false or bad. They are all absolutely correct. So this was not kept a secret because his act of stealing is a source of great transcendental bliss. In the material world, theft is criminal, but in the spiritual world, the Lord stealing is a source of transcendental bliss. Mundane rascals who cannot understand the absolute nature of the personality of Godhead sometimes call Lord Krishna immoral, but they do not know that his seemingly immoral activities, which are not kept secret. Another thing, any time in this world you see, whenever immoral activities are done, do they reveal it to the world? Talk about smuggling, prostitution, and all these things, immoral activities. Do they make it publicly known to everyone and advertise about them? No, they are kept secret. Even if they advertise it secretly. They advertise it secretly uh, in what do you say, amongst that particular audience or customers. Even if they are secretly doing some, you know they don't let the government or the officials know about it, or the general public know about it. They do it secretly. Immoral activities are always done secretly in this material world, whereas Krishna's so-called immoral activities, people say immoral, actually in the spiritual world there is nothing immoral and moral. Punya and papa are in this material world. In the spiritual world there is no punya and there is no papa. And similarly, when someone is transcendental to this material modes, who is even in this material world, but he has transcended the modes, for him also in his activities there is no punya or papa, because his activities are on the spiritual plane. Of course, but if he acts like that, then common people, they will take his example and they will also start acting immorally, even though they don't have the qualification. That is why, just so that they don't mislead the general people, even though they are transcendental, we see that they follow the rules and regulations of this world. But still, when Krishna comes, he has to perform some he has to perform some activities which are not possible for others. Otherwise, how people will accept him as the Supreme Lord, showing the Vishwarup and all these activities he has to do. Killing the demons when he was still a small infant on the lap of his mother. And even marrying 16,000 wives. So if somebody says, oh, Krishna did this, I will also do, then you imitate his other activities also. Lift a Govardhan hill as a child. If you're not able to do that, then don't imitate these activities, because all his activities are transcendental. All his activities are transcendental. So anyway, those who are uh, envious, actually, they're envious. They say that Krishna's activities are immoral. They will never touch, Krishna's pastimes. Mundane rascals who cannot understand the absolute nature of the personality of Godhead sometimes call Lord Krishna immoral, but they do not know that his seemingly immoral activities, which are not kept secret, afford pleasure to the devotees. Yes. Why does Krishna act? He just acts to give pleasure. Of course, he acts for his own enjoyment, no doubt about that, because he is the supremely independent master, right? What does he care, right? They say, "Hathi chale bazar, kutte bhonke hazar." Hathi does not care for the dogs that are barking. The elephant, when the elephant is majestically walking on the street, many dogs will bark at the elephant. But what can the dogs do except barking? Can they harm the elephant in any way? And does the elephant care for the dogs? Does the elephant have to go chasing after the dogs? Doesn't care. Just keeps walking away, right, in its majestic way. Like that. So people, you know, say Krishna's activities are this, and Krishna doesn't care, right? He acts for his enjoyment because he's the supremely independent master, and for his enjoyment. But when he enjoys, along with him, his devotees are also enjoying. Whenever the devotees are rendered, so Krishna's activities are in relation to his devotees. So Krishna is enjoying that bhakti of the devotees. The devotees who are involved in that are enjoying, and everyone else who's simply watching or hearing uh, or speaking, remembering, they are also enjoying. So Krishna is only concerned about his devotees. He has nothing. Krishna says, I don't know anything about my devotees. My devotee doesn't know anything except me. I also don't know anything except my devotees. His dealing is only with his devotees. His activities give pleasure to his devotees, so he acts in these wonderful ways. And others, they consider, oh, this is not right, he should not have done that. Yes. You want to understand the truth of these activities, you also become devotee, you will also understand. But if you want to remain a non-devotee and then still you want to understand Krishna's activities, no, you don't have entrance. You don't get uh, uh, a pass, right, to enter into these pastimes. So the way to understand the nature of Krishna's activities is to become a devotee. So they do not know that his seemingly immoral activities, which are not kept a secret, afford pleasure to the devotees. Not understanding the transcendental behavior of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, these rascals slur his character. And what is the result of blaspheming the Supreme Lord? Not understanding the transcendental behavior of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, these rascals slur his character and immediately fall into the category of miscreants. Rascals, wahi, dushkritina. Rascals, lowest among men, demons, and those whose knowledge is taken away by the illusory energy. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita 7:15. Namam dushkritino muda prapadyante naradhamaha mayaya pahritagyana asuram bhavamashitaha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. So it is these people who don't surrender unto Krishna that blaspheme Krishna. All these four types of people are prone to blaspheming Krishna. One who surrenders to Krishna does not blaspheme Krishna. Those miscreants, so who are these four people? Who are grossly foolish. Grossly foolish means, this is explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Grossly foolish means when they need something, they go, they may worship the Lord, take it, and then forget Him. They're called Mudas. Because if they had just continued worshipping the Lord, even if you want material desires fulfilled, just keep worshipping the Lord, be faithful to Him. They are not like that. Maybe someone says, if you go here, you'll get something. They'll go, they'll get something, and after they're only interested in the result. Once they get the result, they leave. They don't worship the Lord anymore. That's Muda, grossly foolish. And of course, like they're also called asses. They're working all day long, but they don't worship the Lord, right? They have no time to worship the Lord, but they work all day long. So these are Mudas. Naradhama. The Naradhama means the lowest of mankind. The lowest of mankind. Actually, now I'm forgetting the exact explanation. If Priyanka Mataji or Sonia Mataji, if you remember, you can tell me. What is Naradhama according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur? Anyway, we can. I will revise one more time, and I'll give you this explanation later. But these four types of people, of course, Srila Prabhupada, according to Baladevi Debhushan, Srila Baladevi Debhushan explains that Mudas means asses and foolish people, basically, who work hard and they think that's all, right? You work and you enjoy, right? You work hard and you enjoy the result. That's all. There's no need to worship the Lord. You want the result, you work for it. That's it. And Naradhama means the lowest of mankind, like the Aborigines and like they don't know anything and they never worship. And Maya Apaharita Jnana means all these scholars, right? They scholars of scriptures also, but their knowledge, they study the scripture, but they don't come to the conclusion that one should surrender to the Lord. Scholars. That means their knowledge, they have so much knowledge, but it is stolen by Maya. And Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha, these people, Asuram, demons. What is the nature of demons? They are envious of the Supreme Lord, isn't it? The demigods means Vishnu Bhakta Bhaved Daiva Asuras Tad Viparyaya. So, Daiva means those who are devotees of the Lord, obedient to the Lord. And Sura means, Asura means those who are the opposite of the Suras. That means they're not obedient, they're disobedient to the Lord. So those who have taken to the nature of Asuras means, yeah, they hate the Lord, basically. That's an Asura. So when they hate the Lord, they blaspheme Him, they ridicule Him, they find fault with Him. Asuras. So all these four types of people don't surrender to the Lord. And these four types of people are the ones that are prone to blaspheme. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Mundane rascals cannot understand that whatever Krishna does, being absolute in nature, is all good. This quality of the Lord is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 33rd chapter, text 29. One may consider certain acts of a supremely powerful person to be immoral by mundane calculations, but this is not actually the case. For example, the sun absorbs water from the surface of the earth, but it does not absorb water only from the sea. It also absorbs water from filthy sewers and ditches containing urine and other impure substances. The sun is not polluted by absorbing such water. Rather, the sun makes the filthy place pure. If a devotee approaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead for an immoral or improper purpose, he nonetheless becomes purified. Right? If someone approaches the Lord, so you have this example in Vrindavan, right? So not in Vrindavan, like one thief heard in a lecture, he's a thief, right? He's a thief, and he heard that in a Bhagavatam class he heard about how Krishna lives in Vrindavan, and he puts on all this beautiful jewelry that his mother puts on him, and so on and so forth. So this thief is thinking, if I just go and steal from Krishna, then all his jewelry I don't have to steal again in my life. So much such valuable jewelry he wears. So he actually went to the place where Krishna goes cow herding every day. Whatever he heard from that lecture, he sat on the tree waiting for Krishna to come at the time when he comes for for cow herding. And he waited and waited, and Krishna did come. Cows came, the cow herds came, and then he saw Krishna come also. And then he actually went, and like a thief, he tried to first, talk to him, this and that. And then he said, "Oh, your necklace is so nice. Will you give it to me? And then I'll take it." Of course, when he saw Krishna, he was completely enchanted by the beauty of Krishna. But when he asked for it, Krishna said, "No, my mother will scold me. I won't give you." so, uh, I forget the second part. But what happened was he forgot all about stealing and everything. He was completely enchanted by Krishna. So his purpose of approaching Krishna was to steal. Right? He approached Krishna to steal. Stealing is immoral. But because he approached Krishna, his stealing habit was also removed. He became a pure devotee. He got attraction for Krishna, prema for Krishna. That's the highest. Right? So even if someone, that's why yena kena prakarena manah krishna niveshayat. One way or the other, the mind must be focused on Krishna. Like the gopis, their minds were focused on Krishna because of lusty desires. Kamsa's mind was focused on Krishna. Of course, this is not anukulyana, but still, his mind was focused on Krishna out of fear. Shishupal's mind was focused on Krishna out of envy, right? And Mother Yashoda out of Vatsalya Bhav, like this. So when your mind is fixed on Krishna, then you cannot be in the material world anymore. Even in Pratikul Bhav, Shishupal and Kamsa, when their minds were fixed on Krishna, they all got liberation. They all got liberation, whatever they wanted. If they had had that love for him, then they would have gone back to Godhead, to serve Krishna. But they got liberation. Of course, Shishupal is Jai Vijay, so eventually he goes back to his service. That's there. But the point is, one way or the other, if your mind is absorbed in Krishna, then you cannot be on the material platform. So similarly, even if with an immoral, desire for an immoral, improper purpose, if you approach Krishna, that immorality will be removed. You become purified of that immorality by approaching Krishna. The Lord does not become, not that by coming in touch with the immoral activity, the Lord becomes immoral. No, never. That activity itself becomes purified. The Lord does not become infected. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10:29-15, it is stated that if one approaches the Supreme Lord even out of lust, anger, or fear, kamam, krodham, bhayam, he is purified. The gopis, being young girls, approached Krishna because he was a beautiful young boy. From the external point of view, they approached the Lord out of lust, and the Lord danced with them at midnight. From the mundane point of view, these activities may appear immoral because a married or unmarried young girl cannot leave home to mix with a young boy and dance with him. Although this is immoral from the mundane viewpoint, the activities of the gopis are accepted as the highest form of worship because Lord Krishna, whom they approached with lusty desires in the dead of night. But these things cannot be understood by non-devotees. That's the thing. You cannot preach all these things to non-devotees. That is why initially when people come with so many questions, why this, why that, of course, to satisfy their, that hunger for debate, you give some answers little bit, but it's not really advisable to just keep explaining the philosophy to them. Especially I'm talking about, like neophytes. It's best to engage them in some sort of devotional service so that they get a taste, right? What happens when you engage in devotional service? Bhajan, right? Devotional service means bhajan. When you do engage in some devotional service, your anarthas will be minimized. Then you become receptive. You become receptive. Now, when you hear the philosophy, it makes sense. By devotional service, you're actually putting yourself in the position of a devotee, even though not with your heart initially, but at least because devotional service is transcendental. It's absolute, like fire. Whether you know it or not, it's going to burn your hand. Similarly, when you render devotional service, with love, knowingly or unknowingly, just because somebody told you, it is still devotional service. It's going to act on you. And then by that devotional service, now when you hear philosophy, then you will actually understand what is being said. Otherwise, simply sitting and arguing and discussing and debating, nothing is going to happen. Therefore, devotion, they must be engaged in devotional service. That's what has happened and is happening to all of us. We render some devotional service and then we also discuss some Shastra. And because of devotional service, Shastra will, you know, we get entrance. We are able to understand. And some things which we are not able to understand right away means we need more purification to be able to understand. So even if we don't understand, we just accept it. At least that much should be there. I don't understand yet, but I accept it. Krishna cannot be wrong, Shastra cannot be wrong. But of course, it is understood that we have that inquisitiveness, that thing to understand. The thing is, it cannot be understood by intellect. That's the point. It cannot be understood by intellect. Some things can be explained logically, but not everything. Not everything can be explained logically. Certain things have to be revealed to us by the Lord in the course of our devotional service. So, from our side, certainly we should ask questions. And whatever we are able to understand, we will accept. And things which we are not able to understand in spite of the explanation, or sometimes even if the speaker is not able to explain, we should still continue with the devotional service and wait for the time when that question will be answered. Certainly, it will be answered one way or the other, but in due course of time. That's why dhairyat, utsahat nishchayat dhairyat, patience is also required. So, who will be patient? A devotee will be patient. Non-devotees won't be patient. Immediately they will, what these people know, they don't know, they didn't, they will feel proud. I asked such a question that these people could not answer. Finished. He won't come to bhakti, right? So, yeah, these things cannot be understood by non-devotees. That's the point about Krishna, Krishna's pastimes, especially, of course, basic philosophy, Bhagavad Gita philosophy, that is explained to others also. Of course, Krishna says you should only speak this to the devotees, not to the envious. Krishna says that. But Srila Prabhupada in the purport says, but the devotees are so merciful, they take the risk. Even though Krishna says, don't tell it to others, because the compassion of the devotees is such. They want to see everyone become happy to others also, right? They give a book to them, right? And then it is between Krishna and that person. At least they paid something for the book. They started their journey. That's also some form of devotional service, right? They pay and they take the book, started, and then someday they can even read it and things can be revealed to them. But otherwise, just by our intellect, you're not a devotee, you're not following the rules and regulations, you don't even believe that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, still you want to understand about Krishna's activities. No, you won't come to the right conclusion. These things cannot be understood by non-devotees. One must understand Krishna in tattva, truth. One should use his common sense and consider that if simply by chanting Krishna's holy name one is purified, how then can the person Krishna be immoral? Isn't it? Simply by chanting his name, one becomes purified. Then how the person himself can become impure? Unfortunately, mundane fools are accepted as educational leaders and are offered exalted posts for teaching irreligious principles to the general populace. This is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 5th chapter, 31st verse. Andhayathandhay rupaniyamana. Blind men are trying to lead other blind men. Due to the immature understanding of such rascals, common men should not discuss Krishna's pastimes with the gopis. This is the reason, right? Common men should not discuss Krishna's pastimes with the gopis. And then even devotees should be very, very cautious about this, actually. Srila Prabhupada would not even discuss topics of Krishna's pastimes with gopis. Common men should not discuss. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not discuss. He would only discuss with his close, intimate associates like Ramananda Rai, right? Like his inner circle of devotees, very intimate. Otherwise, in mass preaching, general, he would do Sankirtan, not pastimes of Krishna with gopis. Why? Instead of making progress, they make offenses and they'll go down. Due to the immature understanding of such rascals, common men should not discuss Krishna's pastimes with the gopis. A non-devotee should not even discuss his stealing sweet rice. See? Stealing sweet rice, this also should not be discussed by non-devotees. It is warned that one should not even think about these things. Although Krishna is the purest of the pure, mundane people thinking of Krishna's pastimes that appear immoral themselves become polluted. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore never publicly discussed Krishna's dealings with the gopis. He used to discuss these dealings only with three confidential friends. He never discussed Ras Leela publicly, as the professional reciters do, although they do not understand Krishna or the nature of audience. Another thing, those who call themselves devotees of Krishna and still they venture into Krishna's Ras Leela and discuss it publicly, how do you know if they are not bona fide or not bona fide? You will see at the end of the lecture, like they will speak very nicely, very, very eloquently, sometimes even moving you to tears and laughter, and very, very entertaining actually. At the end, you will see, or somewhere in the lecture, you will see there is this poison of impersonalism. You'll find it. Of course, you don't have to go and hear, but if you come across something like that, and then, if you happen to come across, then you can tell if it is bona fide or not, because there will be impersonalism. So, best is to stick to the authentic parampara, whatever is given in the authentic parampara, we are safe. And even that, whatever is coming through our acharya, that is foolproof, right? So you won't make any mistakes there, like that. So he used to discuss these dealings only with three confidential friends, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He never discussed Ras Leela publicly, as the professional reciters do, although they do not understand Krishna or the nature of the audience. However, yeah, so they discuss, they don't know Krishna and they don't know the nature of the audience, the people that they are speaking to, how much they can receive. Are they such exalted, assembly like Sukadev Goswami had, where he's discussing Ras Leela? These are all exalted sages. In their midst, he's discussing Ras Leela. Are they like that, the audience that have come to attend this professional reciter's Bhagavad Katha? So the person speaker does not know Krishna and he does not know his audience, still he's speaking on Ras Leela. However, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu encouraged the public chanting of the holy name on a huge scale for as many hours as possible. Yes, that is again engaging them in devotional service, whether some cleaning activity, garland making, or book distribution, or just Sankirtan sing, right? By that, you will become receptive to the philosophy. So, first we have to purify ourselves. I'll stop there. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I hope you had a wonderful Gaur Purnima festival and Jagannath Mishra festival.
Yes, Mataji. How was your Mayapur festival?
Still going on. Today is Jagannath Mishra's festival. Very nice. Very nice. All day busy, starting with Mangalarti until feast in the night and Abhishek, Kirtan, and yeah, it's a, what can I say? Mayapur.
Was it very crowded, Mataji?
Yeah, extremely crowded. Like even the courtyards were packed. Courtyards for Mangalarti, courtyards were packed. Like no room to go inside. What to speak of the temple room? And then they sent everyone out for darshan because they couldn't accommodate everyone inside. So during japa they sent everyone out of the temple, and then they would let devotees inside uh, like that. But and then the Guru Puja was outside in Prabhupada Park. Classes were outside. They are trying to manage the crowd. So English class is somewhere else, Bhagavatam class, and then Bengali class is far, far away, so that the crowd will get distributed. They are trying to manage the crowd. And the Abhishek took place in the big parking lot. So the big pandal that they set up, the big parking lot, and many, yeah, lots. And in fact, this time they just stopped all Toto rickshaws, no Toto rickshaws, because they are only forming, so much traffic on the roads. So yesterday all day, you could only see the road was packed with people walking all day long, just walking. So it was nice to see.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
nice.
Mataji, they are not doing Guru Puja in the temple room?
For the festival time, Mataji, because so many are there, they cannot accommodate. They did that even during GDC meetings time also, because so many were there. And that time, because they had these big speakers giving Bhagavatam class in the temple room, so they wanted to prepare the temple room uh, after Guru Puja. So it would just be too much to manage both. So they sent everyone out to Prabhupada Park for Guru Puja. And by the time they came back from Guru Puja, the temple was set up for class, and people as they came in, they sat down. So that was a good system. Now, because of all the crowd for Gaur Purnima,
Last year they didn't do that. Guru Puja was
no,
inside the temple. This year
last year was
it's
not so big. Yeah, this year many are coming. Yeah,
yeah,
I think
it was last year it was overcrowded, but still they didn't do that. They have divided different classes for Hindi, English, and Bengali. Bengali
yeah.
upstairs or English upstairs, Hindi downstairs,
This is
English.
this is not even upstairs. This is like in Gita Bhavan, and then like that.
Wow.
They're far away because
Oh
so
my
many
God.
people. They're just sending them away here and there, to manage the crowd like that.
And is there a pandal beside Gita Bhavan? There a
Yes,
big pandal? Yeah,
there's one
it's all
pandal
the
next to
programs
Gita Bhavan, and
uh,
one in the big parking lot. There's a very big. That's where Abhishek took place. Yeah,
yeah, that's what they do every year. The
yeah.
Abhishek for Abhishek.
That was
And
for classes. The Gita
mhm.
Bhavan's pandal was for classes.
Oh,
Big
okay,
one.
okay.
Okay, I will.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mangalarti started, so I'll go.
Yeah.